The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I believe it's a big challenge for our building to keep things in perspective and to, if we're going to get addicted to anything, let's get addicted to the process.
And with that, we welcome you to Trust the Podcast, powered by Better Live Than Dead and the Gear Radio Network. This here is episode 176.
Episode 176. Buffalo Bills at New York Jets. My babies, how's it going, Ryan? Just like I asked last week, I'm going to ask again this week. At Josh Allen. He's quite the hunk, isn't he?
Even with a broken nose, he is...
Yeah, you're going to have to smart me up on that one. I admit to not being around to watch the game. I had some other obligations I needed to fill, but I heard about it. What exactly happened? How did that happen?
Yeah, so it looks like there was, it doesn't look like there was a rush attempt from Josh Allen, and his face mask got grabbed, and then also his face got grabbed, and it looks like he just got, it's like akin to like I guess for you, John, like a wrestling match. You hit someone over the head with a chair, and you've done it 100 times. 99 times you hit him in the right spot. 100th time you get him in just that right spot. It just bings open. I think that's what happened. It was just like
a shit happened kind of thing.
Yeah, he got hit in the right spot at the right time with the right amount of force, and his nose just popped and immediately popped. His helmet off, was leaking. Was the best way to put it.
Oh man,
missed a little time, came right back, perfectly fine. And then he played the game with a bruised, swollen face. But
that's wild to me. But
anywho,
continue with the intro.
You can hear us on BetterLiveThanDead.com, GearNetwork.com, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well to stay up to date on the latest podcast. I'm Ryan Wolfe, co-host John Cimino. We're here every single week talking about the Buffalo Bills. This one a little shorter than last week, mostly because, well, the Buffalo Bills cruised to a 30-10 victory over the New York Jets. The Buffalo Bills looked very, very good, and the Jets did not. And there's really no other way to put that, mostly because I'm going to try to be as gentle as possible and not poke too much fun at the Jets. But it was not good.
It's nothing that hasn't been appropriately, documented over the course of the last 14 years. Like, that organization is there's something, Ryan. There was, believe it or not, a point in time where the Jets consistently were competitive and consistently were in it and would alter, at worst alter years making the playoffs.
Guys naming dudes, Chad Pennington, brother. I remember those days.
Even before that,
Vinny Testaverde, them goofballs pissed me off all the time.
But there was a period of time where the Jets they were always going to be the Jets. They always found a way to Jets it up, but it was not as it wasn't as grandiose as it is now, because it's just every area of the business operations within that organization is just a dumpster fire. And I don't know how to correct it other than ownership. When you have an owner like him,
It's funny you mentioned that, John. I talked to a coworker yesterday who mentioned he was a Cowboys fan, lifelong, because he's a little bit older. And I said, it stinks for you, because the problem is not the quarterback, it's not the running back, it's not the coach, it's not the coordinator, it's not the GM. Well, it is the GM, but it's the owner. It starts like the rot starts at the top, and you gotta when you bring in new people like Aaron Glenn. It's too early to say if he's going to be good or bad. You don't know,
right? Yeah, it was. But you have to go in
and you got to go in and kind of you got to scrape out all that rot and all that rust.
Right.
And you got to scuff it down to bare metal and then fix it. You can't just come in and patch it up.
Yeah. And Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions were kind of like almost like a template for what happens when you come into an organization that's in disarray like that. So I can't necessarily, I can't say anything about Aaron Glenn and his style until really he's gone through a full season, because Campbell's first full season, the Lions weren't the Lions. But where the Lions example differs from the New York Jets, and even the same thing with Buffalo in the early offset of the process era when McDermott came in, and they were still kind of trying to find themselves. Ownership again, Terry and Kim Pagula, good owners, good football owners, maybe not the best hockey owners, these Sabres fans out there,
Yeah.
but decent football owners. They've done a very good job taking care of the team and putting the right people in the right place. Detroit the same way with their rebuild, and now they're up there and everything like that. The Jets have had the same ownership since 2000 when the Johnson family bought the team, and he's more for the headlines. It's like that New York Yankees kind of ideology where you want the back page, right? The difference between the New York Yankees, though, and the New York Jets is the New York Yankees consistently have built their empire, evil or not, around winning and a culture of winning. And even when they had those down years in the 80s, it was still like the boss showed up and everybody played their ass off and they won those games whenever the boss showed up. The Jets don't have that. They don't have the boss. They have Woody Johnson's the owner, but he's not the boss. He's not somebody that I think people underneath him truly respect. They're appreciative of the payday, but I don't think they respect him. And that to me is where I think it translates to just every possible football operation at one Jets drive.
I think it's the same thing with, with the Miami Dolphins, where you cannot go in with the mindset of, oh, well, Aaron Glenn is here, so he'll do here what they did in Detroit, because it's like Buffalo. You can never replicate. You only hope to imitate. I mean, it's
exactly. And McDermott was he wasn't replicating or anything. He was figuring himself out along the way as well. Like he wasn't coming in saying, they were coming in and was like, yes, he's an Andy Reid disciple, but he wasn't coming in trying to be Andy Reid.
You need to have ownership willing to do something differently, willing to take it in a different direction than doing the same exact thing you've done for the last 25 years and going, it'll work at some point in time. Yeah, if we bring in the washed up quarterback, yeah, it'll work out. Oh, sure thing, absolutely. And it doesn't. And you go, well, why would that ever happen?
Right. Only in
it's
certain circumstances does that type of thing work, but everything has to work. Like when Brady Brady was never really washed up. Let's be real here. But when he went to Tampa, he wasn't going to an 0-16 team at the time. He wasn't going to a bottom feeder team that's looking to this. He was going to a team that already had a ton of people around there, and then they got more, and they took minimums just to get Brady, to make sure Brady could get there. And that's kind of how that's like the blueprint for how that works. Or like Peyton Manning to Denver a decade ago. That was kind of how that blueprint works. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets was not a blueprint. And you can argue him to the Steelers now after the way they played week 2. You know what I mean? So again,
yeah, and I think the same. We're seeing the same thing with it being Dolphins week. We'll talk about that shortly.
Mm-hmm.
But you see the rot from the top down.
Yep.
And
I feel like it's become a lot more clear lately too of that.
I think it's also becoming a lot clearer when we've got media and journalism and journalists, I should say, who are not afraid to go, yeah, Dallas is not the problem. It's Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Right.
The Jets aren't the problem. It's Woody Johnson. And like the problem with the Lions never was the ownership. It was just that they had no direction, and they did something different. They stepped out of line and they've created their own direction. The Buffalo Bills did the same exact thing.
Exactly.
And there are times where you will do that and you will fail, but then there are times that you will do it and be the Lions or the Bills. And it's just, you have to be willing to try something different because what you've been doing doesn't work. And I mean, that's
100%.
Again, looking at Sean McDermott here, milestone watch. He entered 2025 with an 86-45 record. He's now 12 wins away from 100 career victories, 25 away from 113, which would put him past Marv Levy for the most all-time as a Buffalo Bills head coach. The Bills entered 2025 with an all-time record of 486, 505, and 8. Bearing the lead here, John, week 1 was the Buffalo Bills' 1,000th game as a franchise. And they are 12 wins away now from 500 victories as a franchise.
Very good. Very good. I like that. I actually, unrelated, well, I mean, related because you mentioned Mario Levy's name, but I did you see the video of him with his birthday cake?
Oh, yeah.
At his 100th birthday celebration. He invited everybody to his 200th birthday celebration. I hope to see that.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
indeed. He still got it. He still got it at his age too. That's
he can
cool.
still bring it. Yeah, he can still bring it.
I absolutely love that.
Chris Downey, our unpaid intern, did point out to me as well that this was the Bills' 1,001 great game as a franchise, and it was the Jets' 1,002nd game as a franchise. Not sure
Well,
where that extra
you know,
game was. Well, that extra game was
have
probably
one thing
picked
to
up.
say about that.
Probably picked up. Yep, absolutely. I was going to say, where'd the extra game get picked up? But I'm pretty sure that was the DeMar Hamlin game. So we will just move on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Three big things brought to you by
We've
Buffalo
done that.
Go.
That's not the first time that we've blocked that
Nope.
game out.
No.
I think a lot of people have blocked that game out. Like whenever they think about it, they're just, yeah.
Yeah.
It was that. Anyways, I'm sorry. Three big things.
It's okay. Three big things brought to you by Buffalo Go, a Buffalo-based marketing and merchandising company that specializes in screen printing, embroidery, and branding services. They also have their own clothing line that is full of fun, Buffalo-themed designs. Follow on Instagram at instagram.com/Buffalo GoCo, G-O-C-O, Facebook at facebook.com/Buff Logo, BUFFLOGO, for their latest designs when you visit their shop at buff-a-logo.com. Be sure to use the code TRUST-THE-PROCESS, all one word, for 15% off of your next purchase. John, running down the offense, a weird day, and I say this only specifically because, well, first off, Josh Allen broke his nose and then came back and continued to play. He was 14 of 25, 148 passing yards, no touchdowns, with 6 rushes for 59 yards and no touchdowns. The reason I point out the no touchdowns is that it is the second time in the career of Josh Allen as the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills that he did not record a touchdown.
Really?
And the Bills still won the game.
Wow.
Very
I honestly, again, I did not actually watch the game because I was following you guys and I was following the stats, but
Sure.
I guess I never really thought of that or viewed that. But that's wow. His second game with 0 touchdowns. That's
his 40-yard rush was the third longest of his career in the regular season. Moving over to rewriting the record books with Josh Allen, he recorded his 78th victory, surpassing Joe Ferguson for second all-time in franchise history. He has 3 touchdown passes away from 200, 41 touchdown passes away from 238, which would surpass Jim Kelly for the most all-time in franchise history. He's now 615 passing yards away from 27,591 in his career, which would be second all-time in franchise history. 215 rushing yards away from 4,446 rushing yards, which would be fourth all-time in franchise history. Also, the tally continues. Allen trails Patrick Mahomes for most total yards in a player's first 8 seasons. Mahomes recorded 34,603. Josh Allen is now at 31,226 and counting as of Thursday. Also, real quick before we move on from quarterbacks, John, I can't help myself, but I had to point this out. Quarterback Mitch Trubisky had more yards passing in one play, 32, than Justin Fields had all day, 27.
Hooray!
James Cook, he was the difference maker for the Buffalo Bills offensively on Sunday. And boy, did he look really good doing it. 21 carries for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 reception and 1 target for 3 yards. The first Buffalo Bills.
That freaking run you guys had sent me, just where he went where they bounced off him or it just,
it was dipsy. I think it was like a dipsy doodle, I think is the way is the whitest way to explain it.
It was a very good run.
He's got it, man. He definitely has. Like, if you were wondering, hey, maybe he has an off game, then is he still the man? Still James let him cook? Absolutely.
Yeah,
he's the first Buffalo player to record a rushing touchdown in 6 straight games since Rob Riddick in 1988. It's also his Cook's 5th career 40-plus yard rushing touchdown was recorded in the first half per Buffalo Bills PR since entering the NFL in 2022. Cook's 5 40-plus yard touchdowns lead the league. He also leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns with 19 since the start of the 2024 season. Cook also surpassed Marshawn Lynch for 15th most rushing yards all time in franchise history. Cook is now 29 yards away from 2,843 career rushing yards, which would put him 14th most all time in franchise history, currently held by Jim Braxton at 2,842 rushing yards. So James Cook, again, when the offense was a little quieter, because again, hey, credit where it's due, that Jets pass defense, it'll catch up with you. And I mean, looking on paper, starting the season off with the Ravens and the Jets, I probably would have expected more of 2 performances like this game than what we saw week 1. You take what you can get though when it comes.
Sure.
But that's why you have complementary players like James Cook.
And let's be honest, with the with the expanded season, week 1 really is almost like an extension of the preseason if you consider how many reps were played going into it and things like that. Like week 1, obviously Josh Allen taking off the preseason didn't bother him one bit that week, but maybe the defense, not playing full preseason games or whatever, and then they're having their full one, they get a little winded quickly. I'm not sure, but they certainly, made up for it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's you get it where you can, and that really shifts us to the defense, despite the fact that coming into the game, the best way to explain it, John, our pets' heads are falling off. If you are old like us, you'll get the reference. If you're young, you won't. Week 2, injuries already out of hand. Ed Oliver went to practice on Wednesday. Showed up Thursday in a walking boot on a scooter, and everyone went, whoa, what the hell happened? Apparently, Ed Oliver was stepped on Wednesday during practice and ruled out the next day. So, almost immediately, pretty close. Per the Associated Press, on the 12th, Sean McDermott said about Oliver's odds of playing Thursday, quote, I think there's a chance. I don't know what that chance is. To update everybody, as of Monday's practice report, Oliver was a DNP for a game that is on Thursday. So it doesn't look good for Ed Oliver on Thursday.
No.
Linebacker Shaq Thompson missed the game with a hamstring/hand injury. Taron Johnson missed the game with a quad injury, but again, he was limited on Monday. So hopefully the Buffalo Bills, I should say too, only conducted a walkthrough practice, but my guess would be if you're on a scooter with a boot, you're not walking through anything.
Probably not.
But Taron Johnson was a limited participant, so we'll see how that when that Tuesday report comes out, we will see how that goes for them. But hey, the Buffalo Bills need the help where they can get it, because also Matt Milano left the game with an injury. McDermott said post game he's, quote, dinged up a little bit here. Sounds like he may have a pectoral injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he may miss some time here. Cornerback Tre'Davious White, though, on the plus side, played 55.3% of the defensive snaps in his season debut. Per Chris Brown, quote, Trey White exited so as to not overtax him, having come back from injury, which is smart. But again, to have, I don't want to say anything bad about other cornerbacks that the Buffalo Bills had on their team or have on their team, but to have Tre'Davious White opposite Christian Benford, something just feels right about that for the Buffalo Bills defense.
Yeah, I mean, those are your guys. Those are the people that are there to make the plays. They play to win the game. Those are your number ones. When you don't have those, it's kind of tough to go by. But the injury bug, man, that's kind of wild. I almost wonder, because this always seems to happen with Buffalo early on in the season. Do you think it could be the strength and conditioning coach? Like, what is going on with all these injuries? You
always want to point to that, but then again, with this team, with how close to the vest they are,
sure.
I mean, if they were fighting for their playoff life every week, would guys play?
I'm sure they would have. I'm sure. Well, not. I don't think that Ed Oliver would be playing, but maybe.
Well, I mean, we don't even know. The thing is, we don't even know that. Like, we don't even know what the injury is for Ed Oliver. Is this they're trying to prevent anything worse from happening, or they're just trying to, or is there an actual significant injury keeping him out? Because again, teams are usually pretty tight-lipped about this, and the Buffalo Bills, they have no need to rush a guy back, because I mean, look at the rest of the AFC East, and winning a division is your meal ticket to the playoffs. It doesn't matter how you get there, just as long as you get there. So
right.
My thought would be that some guys would play if it were January, but hard to say. So
yeah, I feel that they,
my guess would be that the bumps and bruises happen. We all know that, but as time goes on, it's hard to say. It's hard to say, but we'll see how they develop, how these injuries develop throughout the week, and we'll go forward from there.
Indeed.
Buffalo has won the turnover battle in an NFL record 24 straight games. They held the Jets to 2 completions in the first half, the first time this has happened since Buffalo did the same December 6th, 2021 versus the New England Patriots. Buffalo held the Jets to just 3 offensive plays in the third quarter. They held the Jets
domination at level of the defense there.
154 yards of total offense, the fewest allowed by Buffalo in a road game since December 9th, 1990 at the Indianapolis Colts.
35 years ago.
Yeah. It's
That's
also
wild.
the Second time since 1991 that Buffalo has not allowed a third down conversion in a game. The only other time was November 19th, 2003, also against the New York Jets. Also, Buffalo has held.
Talk about owning a matchup there. Good Lord.
You're not kidding. Buffalo has also held the Jets without a touchdown on their opening drive for the last 24 meetings, the longest active streak in the National Football League. And a lot of help defensively. Cole Bishop looked great. 5 tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, a quarterback hit. Defensive end Joey Bosa, unbelievable, took over the game. He played 26 snaps on Sunday, John. He had 6 pressures, 2 tackles, 1 solo, a sack, a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and 2 forced fumbles.
You know what we call that? Efficiency.
I thought you were going to hit the dog button, but yeah, efficiency.
Oh,
as well.
Oh, yeah. You know, I forgot about that dog button. You know why? Do you know why I forgot about the dog button?
Why?
Because I have this.
Thank you, Downey.
That's fair.
That's
Rip
good.
dog. Rip dog.
Spoiler alert. That's going to be a theme this season.
Rip dog.
Let me just go back to that turnover to defensive battle that you said. You said 24 straight meetings without letting the Jets score on their opening drive.
Score a touchdown on their opening drive. Correct.
24 straight.
So if they play twice a year, that's 12 years.
Dude, that is a quarter of a century.
11 and a half years at this point.
That's wild. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This is the first time we know how dominant Joey Bosa is. He tallied 2 forced fumbles in a game for the first time in his career. His 73rd sack of his career on Sunday, moving him into a tie with Rob Burnett for 99th on the NFL's all-time sack list. Defensive tackle Daquan Jones recorded a sack. Defensive tackle Zion Logue and defensive end Greg Russo split a sack each on Sunday. Logue was elevated from the practice squad on Saturday, records his first career sack on Sunday. Not a bad weekend. Speaking of, John, Buffalo special teams, we're highlighting them because we've been talking a lot about the special teams. Punter Cameron Johnston made his Buffalo Bills debut. 3 punts for 130 yards, 43.3 yard average. Not his average, not his normal, a little off. But here's the big thing: 2 punts downed inside the 20-yard line. That is how you flip a field. You get those punts down to the 20. That's exactly. He's not out there bombing it just to bomb it. He's out there. Hey, we're gonna pin him deep. And then
you know what? He's filling the position that he was brought there to fill. Like that's what that's why there's the special and special teams. Like that's what they specialize in. If punters are going to try and get inside of 20 every single time if they can, that is their touchdown. That's what gets them going. So to see that happen, that's pretty cool, and that makes him a valuable piece to the puzzle going down the stretch as well.
When at the same time too, just seeing that special teams unit, it's absolutely incredible. Like seeing, and I'm looking this up quick because my brain is liquid right now. It's been a long day. Okay, it's been.
I understand completely.
It's been a long day. It's been a long week or a long year this week. That's what I like to say.
There we go.
Where did I? Thanks for. You know what? I needed that. I really needed that.
Very good.
So Matt Prater. We'll just go to Matt Prater right now.
Let's go to Matt Prater
because I can't find the what I'm looking for. I'll look it up in a minute. Matt Prater.
What can you even say about Matt Prater?
3 for 3 on field goals. 28, 52, 33 yard apiece. 3 for 3 on his PATs. John, he recorded his 82nd career 50-plus yard field goal on Sunday, extending his own NFL record.
Padding the stats, man. That's what you do when you play Madden on rookie level. You pad the stats, and that's what he's doing there. So good on him, man. I love his story, and I love, how he's kind of covered for my boy Tyler Bass in a pretty good way there. So good on him.
The name,
keep that positive momentum going, man.
The name I was looking for, Sam Franklin Jr. The Buffalo Bills appear to have locked up aces on all forms of special teams with Sam Franklin Jr., with Cameron Johnston, Matt Prater. Special teams once was a scary portion of the Buffalo Bills game. Not anymore.
Not so fast. Not anymore. I don't know.
Exactly.
I gotta get that Corso soundbite.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Trust the Podcast here on the Gear Radio Network right after this. And we are back here on Trust the Podcast. I know last week, John, jot down your swag a bit. So what I'm going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, John Cimino.
Thank you very much, Ryan. And hello, everybody. This segment, which is called Around the NFL, is brought to you by Go Frost Yourself. They are located in Rochester, New York, and they do what other local bakeries do not do. And what might that be, you will ask? Well, they bake from scratch. They create recipes themselves, and they use the best fresh ingredients they can find to create delicious flavors for customers daily. How often? Every damn day. Molly and staff. Hi, Molly. Hello, staff. They work tirelessly around the clock to create what Go Frost Yourself has become today, and their passion can be tasted in the items that they bake. When you find yourself looking for an item for a special occasion, or maybe you want to try one of their incredible cinnamon rolls, if you are local, you can visit the storefront at 2544 Ridgeway Avenue in Greece. It's in the city of Rochester. The suburb of Rochester, if you will, or at gofrostyourself.com. And now over to my favorite, the person who we will endlessly thank
Chris Downey.
for Around the NFL, Mr. Chris Downey. Take it away, you unholy jackwagon, you.
Ryan and John, thank you as always, and welcome to week 2 of Around the NFL. With this, we'll take a look at the best and the not so best of the week, as we did with week 1. Something new for this year. Let's get right into it with week 2. And as we will continue to do, start off with the good. If there was any worry about the Detroit Lions after week 1, those worries should be put to rest, at least for now. Detroit 52-21 winners over the Chicago Bears. Jared Goff with a stellar game, thrown for 334 yards and 5 touchdowns. 3 of those going to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who caught 9 passes for 115 yards in the win. Jahmyr Gibbs with a big bounce-back game, scoring once and tallying 94 yards in the win. For the Bears, though, Rome Odunze had a performance of his own, catching 7 passes for $128 and 2 scores. Jamar Chase scored once, but he caught 14 passes for 165 yards in the Bengals' 31-27 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jake Browning threw for 241 yards and 2 scores. He replaced Joe Burrow midway through the first half. Super Bowl rematch lived up to the hype in Arrowhead, but it was the visiting Eagles who took the win 20-17 over the home Chiefs. Kansas City, first 0-2 start with Patrick Mahomes, and they've now lost 3 straight games going back to February's big game. With the loss and the Bills' win, Buffalo now holds an early 2-game lead over the Chiefs in the AFC standings. We know it's a long way to go, but 2 games over the Chiefs, the team that the Bills have been chasing down, that top seed for so many years in this Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes era. A 2-game lead, especially through the first 2 weeks, is nothing to shake a stick at. In the NFC, Dallas, they edged the New York Giants in overtime, 40-37 at Jerry World. The teams combined for 41 points in the fourth quarter, and they needed overtime to settle the contest. In a game which really, if you watched it, no one wanted to win. Russell Wilson threw for 450 yards. Yes, the Russell Wilson. And 3 scores. Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson both caught over 100 yards and combined for all 3 of Russell Wilson's touchdown passes. Dak threw for 361 yards. And CeeDee Lamb caught 112 yards in the win. Player of the game, though, Dallas kicker Brandon Aubrey. Third-year kicker nailed a 64-yarder as time expired in the fourth quarter to force overtime, and he hit a 46-yarder to win the game. We turn to Monday night. Baker Mayfield. He led the Bucs on a game-winning drive over the Houston Texans, 20-19. It was Mayfield's 5th career game-winning passing touchdown in the final minute of a game, the second most since 2018. Now we looked at the good. Let's look at some of the not-so-good from week 2 from the NFL. And as Ryan and John have alluded to already, Justin Fields had a start to forget. He finished with just 3 completions and 27 yards in Sunday's loss to Buffalo. Justin Fields did leave early due to a injury, but again, only 27 yards in the loss. Derrick Henry, he had a monster game to open the season. He gashed Buffalo for almost 200 yards, and he was just held to 23 yards, yes, 2-3, the Michael Jordan number. And that was in their 24-point win over Cleveland. And as a team, Baltimore had 45 total rushing yards, with Lamar adding 13 on 2 rushes. Denver's special teams arguably cost them the win. at Indianapolis on Sunday. The Colts missed the game-winning 60-yard field goal as time expired, but they got another chance, this time from 15 yards closer, as Denver was called for a leverage penalty on the first attempt. Not necessarily a bad performance, but not a good moment if you're the Broncos wanting to get a road win, giving Indy the chance to win, which they capitalized on. And lastly, the most unfortunate news, this isn't a bad performance, it's just unfortunate. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow suffered a toe injury in the Bengals win on Sunday. That's why Jake Browning filled in midway through the second quarter, as I mentioned earlier. Burrow left the game early, did not return, but he was seen riding a leg scooter after the game, and is being reported that he could miss up to 3 months or more following surgery and rehab on the injury. Now, with that current timeline, that has him missing the December game against the Bills in Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. Now let's look ahead to week 3. Starting off Thursday night, squish the fish, go Bills. We do have a barn burn in store Monday night. Detroit heads to Baltimore. Both teams are coming off rebound wins in week 2, but who makes it 2 in a row? We also have a pair of 2-0 teams meeting in the city of brotherly love as the Rams head to Philadelphia for a 1 p.m. kick against the Eagles. And the only other 2-0 game of the week features Arizona and San Francisco in the late afternoon Sunday slate in Santa Clara. And lastly, if you would have bet that the Chiefs would be in the only matchup of 0-2 teams this week, I'd also like to know the upcoming lottery numbers. Chiefs head to New Jersey to take on the Giants on Sunday Night Football. This has been your week 2 recap from around the NFL. Ryan and John, back to you.
Thanks, Chris. As always, we appreciate the endless amount of effort you put into this podcast. Chris has, for breaking down the fourth wall. I'm being serious. I know that sounded more like I was.
No. We love Chris. We love Chris.
It's Tuesday.
And his
I'm a little.
Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Downey.
Yes, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Downey.
I think we've done well with the swears today. I think we did well with the swears last week too. I don't think there were many.
I've been trying to be better. I've been sharing the podcast with a few more people, so I've been trying to be on my best behavior, making sure I don't make myself look too much like an ass. But also, there's not really much to be mad about, and the only really time I start cursing is when I get mad.
Yeah.
You won't like me when I'm mad.
There we go. Yeah, because then Ryan morphs into Cholo Ryan, and if you have not seen Cholo Ryan, I promise you, Cholo Ryan exists, and he's terrifying.
All because I didn't accidentally. All because John got me into the junk headbands, and they work really well. And then I sent John and Chris a photo, and a star was born. Let's put it that way.
Indeed. Yes.
Looking ahead, week 3, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins, Thursday, September 18th.
Wait. Before you do that, you were going to put over Downey for a bit.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm kidding. No, Chris. Yes, he's taken over, helping out with Facebook page. He's working with me during the week to get tweets into the show notes, so that way we can also sneak around behind John, so John doesn't see everything we're going to talk about. Because a lot of the fun here, John, this, but the listeners may know this as well, is reading stuff to John and educating John and having a conversation here, and just having you go, Jesus Christ, that's wild. But if I tell you, you're going to be like, yeah, cool. Like Josh Allen is awesome. Great. Fantastic.
You know what? It's what I do. And I do this. I took this from wrestling. Anytime that I'm, doing commentary or play-by-play or anything like that, I don't want to know what's going on in the show before then, because I want it to be the most authentic kind of experience. If someone's watching on IWTV or something like that, and I'm commentating a match, I want the reaction to be, as if they're seeing it, the first time as well. And I find that to be very successful in that, especially when something goes wrong in a match and you can hear me start to laugh. Those types of things. So I try to bring that as best as I can to the podcast form. So usually the show notes, I know you guys do an excellent job. Oh, and by the way,
Thank you, Downey.
I know you guys do an excellent job of maintaining those throughout the week. I do not bring those up until maybe about 10 minutes before the show. And when I do it, I only bring up the intro part. And then as you start talking, I scroll along and I scroll down just to kind of follow along and listen to what you guys put together. And then in real time, give real reactions. So I do enjoy the fact that you guys do that.
He's so good at this that if we had money to pay him, we would pay him. But also at the same time, he made his own thank you and sent it to us so we could thank him. I mean, that is next
Thank
level.
you, Downey.
In case you didn't know his first name.
Chris Downey.
That's incredible. That Adam Sandler flip.
When he sent that, I'm sorry. The first thing that immediately went through my mind was, I'm playing this no less than 10 to 15 times this podcast.
I love that. I
think I'm already on 7 right now. So
looking ahead, week 3, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Now that my frame in front of me is picking up my voice.
Hold on. Say that. No, never mind. Don't say that. Go ahead. Keep going.
Week 3, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Thursday, September 18th. That's my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I don't think you
happy
listen to the
birthday,
podcast,
Mrs. or Mama Wolf.
But happy birthday. 8:15 p.m.
She's not my biggest fan, but happy birthday nonetheless.
8:15 p.m. kickoff on Amazon Prime. The Dolphins 0-2, tied for 3rd in the AFC East.
Oh, wait, it's going now. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Announce the week 3 game one more time for me, please.
Week 3, the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Yes, and that is fair because we will talk about where the Dolphins are right now. Last week, a 33-27 loss to New England. The storylines are the luster is wearing off. Miami held a players-only meeting after their week 1 loss to Indianapolis, 33-8. Offensively, Tyreek Hill seems like he has one foot out the door. Tua Tagovailoa does not look good. And after, I got the quote up here, John, after last week's loss, I'm dead ass with you right now. This is what Mike McDaniel said, quote, where to win games, you have to win the game, not lose the game, honestly. And that's how you lose the game. That's very
insightful.
He's in a bad spot. The team's in a bad spot. They owe Tua Tagovailoa way too much money. Tua Tagovailoa,
when he said this quote, did you watch this quote or just read it?
I've got the video on my phone. I can send it to you right now.
Does he look like dead behind the? I don't need to see it. It's okay.
But he looks
like he
sunken
knows.
in. Like his face is sunken in. He just looks like he's ready to go. I almost kind of feel bad, and it's because comedian Dan Soder, love his podcast. He grew up with Mike McDaniel, so like you get some fun stories from like Dan Soder's side of things. So, like my thought is that once this happens, that like Mike McDaniel and Dan Soder will do something which would be fun.
Yeah.
But you kind of feel.
I don't hate Mike McDaniel. I think
you feel for the guy.
He's a personality. I feel for him. He just coaches a crappy team.
I think I mentioned this before, but if not on the podcast, I'll mention it again. It's the hockey equivalent of John Tortorella in the opposite way, where he's very much a player's coach, but that player's coachness has run out, and that team is. It's like a room full of
very spot on.
It's like a room of children that have been given candy, and you're just letting them go. It's unbelievable.
The proverbial dish in front of the Halloween, the dish in front of the door because you're too lazy to open the door, and you say, "Take one only," and then the first kid comes up and empties the whole goddamn bowl into his pillowcase, and then goes to the next house. That's what that is.
So I know we're running a little tight on time here. We've got children to take care of on both ends here, things to do before we go to bed. So I will just say this. Something has come up this week.
Oh.
And I will be...
Wait.
I will be at Highmark Stadium on Thursday night for the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football.
That is fantastic.
My cousin Dan, wherever you are, if you're working out, do not drop the weight on your throat. If you're driving your car, do not crash your car, please. I have not been to a Buffalo Bills game, making this about me for a second, since the Bills versus the Jets on October 3rd, 2010, a 38-14 loss on a very rainy, miserable day. John, it has been almost 15 years. I have sworn I would not go to a regular season game again because that one sucked so bad. But you know what?
Picking a good one to go to now.
We're going to tell the story next week because I'll have more details, and the people that I'm going with will tell the story. I'll have them call in and leave us a nice little voicemail because the people who are coming,
that's probably the first of the 3 big things next week.
The people who are coming have not, I don't believe, been to Buffalo before. So they want to hit all the spots. They want to go to all the spots at tailgating, all that stuff. So
can you ask those people to call the number and leave a voicemail of their experience? Like, not tell you what they're going to say, but John, like, I'd love to hear it.
The first thing I thought of after I said yes and they said, okay, we're going, was you're going to have to call the podcast and leave a voicemail.
Perfect. Perfect.
I've always got the gig. The gimmick is always first. It's like with you with wrestling. You're always thinking about the gimmick the gig is always right there. You're like, what can I do?
Not anymore.
Back in the day. Now it's, but back in the day, you're like, what can I do?
Now I'm thinking of how to avoid going to shows.
Well, that's fair. You know what I mean, though. Damn it.
I got you.
Shut up, John.
I'm busting chops. I'll be at the show in November for UPW for those UPWers that are listening. I'll be there. I don't know if I won't be wrestling, probably won't be in front of camera, but I'll physically be there.
Perfect. I like that. I love that for you. Hey, so real quick, wrap it up. Predictions. What you got?
Just 35-10 Buffalo.
I'm going to go with, because the Dolphins have allowed a lot of points, 33 in back-to-back weeks. So I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills score 33 again, or they score at least 33 points. My only question here is, do the Buffalo Bills score enough points and beat the brakes off the Dolphins bad enough that Mike McDaniel gets fired? Or do they come into town fired up and rally around Mike McDaniel, which, as from what we've seen so far, I don't know about that one, because
the Dolphins always, in all seriousness, the Dolphins always seem to manage to play the Bills tough.
Yes,
but this Dolphins team feels more like the Jets in a sense, where I've not seen anything that would suggest that would be what would be happening this Thursday.
You say yes, I say yes, but because, again, the rumblings that have come out this week have been that Mike McDaniel is potentially on the hot seat. He's already had to comment about his job. It's the 16th of September. He's already had to comment on his job status. So there's that looming, where he's had to say, if I'm thinking about getting fired, then I'm not doing my job, which great. And then there were rumblings out last night on ESPN that the Dolphins are smitten by their defensive coordinator as a potential next head coaching candidate, if not just an interim, just if not a full-time head coach. So again, things are going splendidly down in Miami. Not that it makes me sad, because it definitely doesn't, but things are going well down there. I'm expecting a raucous atmosphere on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be in the house. I don't know yet who the player, the alumni of the game is going to be, but like, whenever Fitzy's in the house, it's about to be wild. So look at
Fitzy's one of those personalities where, yes, during his time in Buffalo, they didn't make the playoffs, didn't get to the Super Bowl, nothing like that. But he gave the franchise and the city a lot of hope during a very down period. He will always be one of the quarterbacks that are always discussed and always talked about when you think of the Buffalo Bills. He's like the Doug Flutie of the era.
He's also one of the biggest advocates for the franchise right now that does not play for, or is actively employed.
They gave him his first big contract. They gave him his first real big contract.
Yes.
Like they took the chance on him that no one else would have.
So with that being said, again, come back next week for a hopefully great story. I mean, if the Dolphins win this game, I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. Like,
Ryan, I want that to be the first big thing.
Okay. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to downplay this at all. Like, if you're a Dolphins fan listening and you're like, typical Bills, being like the Bills are going to beat the brakes off the Dolphins. Like, no, I'm legitimately sitting here as a sports fan, as an impartial journalist going, I don't see a way, aside from like a drone strike, how the Dolphins could win this game.
We've discussed before the Homer hat and the chats, the things like that. I don't wear that hat, like, at all, for anybody. I don't see a way where that happens. I don't see a way where the historical Miami Dolphins play tough against Buffalo, and it's I could be wrong, but I just don't. This does not carry that same weight. This feels like a New York Jets game. Honestly, this feels like you're going to play
a lot
the Jets
to a little. Tua gets sacked 4 or 5 times, throws a couple picks.
Yep.
Josh Allen's out by the end of the third quarter type of game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now again, could be wrong, but don't think I am. But either way, that's the first big thing next week.
Just the vibes. Just we're literally, like, when we talk about stuff like that too, just to break down the fourth wall real quick, it's all like, again, based off vibes.
Right.
I'm reading ESPN. I'm watching the post game stuff. I'm checking X. I'm seeing the news all come across where it's like,
You don't even need to listen to all that. Look at the results look at the team's results. Look at the Buffalo Bills results from the moment they got into training camp. If you watched Hard Knocks and you saw the focus that this Bills team had, and then you saw how they applied to it, they never gave up week 1, and you saw how they just freaking dog walked the Jets in week 2,
Yep.
and their swag is there, and regardless of what's happening, all the defensive injuries, in spite of all of those challenges, that team is rising up and they're not making excuses and they're not quitting. Whereas you can't say that about the Miami Dolphins at all. Like, the Bills are walking in with all the swag in the world. If they were to lose this game, they would have done it themselves. It's not because Miami's the better team. It would be because the Bills fumbled somewhere.
that's fair. Well, hey, with that being said, Boomer, please.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
For John Cimino, I am Ryan Wolfe. As always, we are Trust the Podcast.
You're not. Also, thank you and Ryan and Chris for the wonderful thing you did for me last weekend. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. I forgot to even mention that because it was just, again, every year we try to take care of you, try to do something nice for you.
Nope.
And,
I wanted to make mention of that, but we got talking about it earlier on, and just I don't know why it reminded me now, but I just wanted to publicly thank you guys for that. That was
no problem,
that
man.
was incredible.
No problem.
I appreciate
It'll
that.
look great. It'll look great in your office.
Indeed,
I'm thinking.
indeed. And also,
Chris Downey.
Always. Although, you know what's going to really drive me nuts is that you've played that 900 times, and if that is really loud in comparison to the rest of the podcast, it's going to screw up my levels and make my life a little bit more difficult. But that's okay. We can talk about that off air.
I'll do the leveler. Don't worry. I'll take care of that here.
I appreciate executive producing. I appreciate that, one of the many hats that you wear. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. For John, I am Ryan. We are Trust the Podcast.
You're not.
We got it twice this week because we're feeling it. So again, thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week, same time, same place, for my wonderful story of my time at the Bills game on Thursday. And as always, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Go Bills.
Ciao, ciao, y'all.
1, 2,